ಸರ್ ನಮಸ್ತೆ.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ.
ತಮ್ಮ ಮಣ್ಣು ಉಳಿಸಿ ಅಭಿಯಾನದಲ್ಲಿ ರೈತರ ಸಹಭಾಗಿತ್ವ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಪಾತ್ರ. ಅವರಿಗೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಮನವರಿಕೆ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ಜಾಗೃತಿ ಮೂಡಿಸುವ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಗೆ?
I think the data has been distributed, yes, about what is happening in the Kaveri Basin, and a massive movement has started. In the last 27 years, overall we have converted about 132,000, that is 1,32,000 farmers into regenerative agricultural farming, which includes tree-based agriculture. Soil quality has improved, it need not be stated because it's naturally happening. But the most important thing is, this is a marriage of ecology and economy. 300 to 800% increase in their incomes have happened. Those of you who are interested, we can organize a tour for you so that you can visit some of these farmers and listen to their stories, or we can arrange Zoom calls where you can talk to these farmers and see what's happened in their lives, because without having an economic angle to it, it will not succeed. Teachings and preachings and philosophies and advices are not going to work. It has to be economically beneficial for the farmer, only then it'll work. That's why I said it's an incentive-driven program. Initially, to give it a push, we need incentives. For example, Karnataka government offered incentives for tree plantation in the farmland, 125 rupees divided across 4 years. This incentive really boosted it. In this year, we planted over 1.3 crore saplings in farmland. I want you to understand, this is not afforestation. This is tree-based agriculture in farmland. But what we have seen is nearly 27 to 30% of the offtake of saplings this year has happened without incentive. Farmers have beginning to realize in regions that it's very beneficial for them, even without going for the subsidy that is being given, they're just planting by themselves. This has to pick up momentum, this needs all your support, that farmers need to understand it's economically beneficial. As you know, recently many species of trees which were under some kind of cover from the government that you cannot plant it, has unfortunately been relaxed, including the Karnataka's most famous sandalwood. Now a farmer can grow sandalwood on his tree, on his farm. If a farmer need not grow full-fledged tree-based agriculture, even if he has, in an acre of land, if he has 2-3 trees, in 10 to 15 years' time, it's worth lakhs of rupees. So, this is an insurance for him, that in case there is a bad agricultural year, there's something to fall back on. Above all, this will prevent something very, very vital for the well-being of this nation. It is expected by 2032, about 220 million people will migrate to urban centers in India. Across the world, 1.3 billion people will migrate. This is going to be one of the most significant human disasters, that people are moving in unplanned ways into urban centers. I want you to imagine 220 million into urban centers means, I think Bangalore's share is easily 30 to 40 million people. Extra 30 to 40 million people, are you ready to handle in the next 10 years' time? Do you have the infrastructure? Is it possible to build infrastructure for that many people? Slowly it is happening all over the world, but particularly, you won't believe this is happening in Los Angeles, that there are people living all over on the streets. I went to Houston, you cannot even come out of the hotels in the night because people are sleeping on the streets in the heart of the city, not some remote place. So this is happening everywhere. In most of our cities, nearly 30–35% of the population is living in slums or very badly serviced rudimentary kind of homes. This is happening because lot of people are moving into the city. Unless we make it lucrative to live in the village, people won't stay there. One important thing is, they have valuable trees on their land. Now they are not going to go anywhere, they're going to stay there because that is their wealth.
Sir, good morning. I need 2 clarifications. Exactly, some people are not even understanding what exactly the Save Soil campaign is. First. Second one is, sir, there were several allegations on the Isha Foundation as far as the Coimbatore incidents are concerned. CAG in 2018 made several allegations related to the prior permission to build several buildings after 2005 to 2008. So can you give us some details related to it? Can you clarify it, sir?
I'll come. So I know what's your interest, so let me address your interest. The safe soil question is just on the side for you. It is the pickle in the plate, I understand. No, I understand.
That's really important because
It's okay,
many are alleging, sir, I'll just clarify my
I
question,
got the
sir.
question, please.
No, sir, let me clarify my question,
No,
sir,
don't.
because it need not to be going different.
I am capable of understanding the question, please. You don't have to explain the question.
Some people are saying that Save
Correct.
Soil movement is only concentrating on the educated class of the
all right.
cities.
I got it, please.
Sir.
So, if some people are saying this, I would say you are living in a bad neighborhood, that such people are there around you. So, one important thing, let me make it very clear to you. You're a journalist, you must dig a little deeper, you shouldn't go by the social media trash. So, you please dig into everything. If there is any one thing that Isha Foundation is doing which is illegal or beyond the scope of the law, please tell me, because I do not know. Leave it, listen to me. Listen, you research, I'll give you a special interview. You spend 24 hours, you research everything. If there is one thing which is beyond the law, I will talk to you after 24 hours, please come and talk to me. I heard this here, some people are telling, well, you're with the wrong people, okay? About the Safe Soil movement. Safe Soil movement is about raising awareness and getting policy done. In 100 days, we touched 3.91 billion people across the world. All these people are elite urban people, is it? 3.91 billion people you have? Very elite people on this planet? I wish it was so. I want the population to become elite. Everybody should advance in their lives. Everybody should be well-to-do. That is the goal of all economic efforts that we are doing. But unfortunately, we are not there. Today, the numbers are well over 4 billion people. You think there are 4 billion elite, highly educated people in this world? Please get yourself little educated. Please.
ನಮಸ್ತೆ ಸರ್. ಸರ್, ಈಗ ಸೇವ್ ಸಾಯಿಲ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಕ್ಯಾಂಪೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ. ಸಾಯಿಲ್ ಪೊಲ್ಯೂಟೆಡ್ ಆಗ್ತಿರೋದು ಬರೀ ಕೃಷಿಕರು ಕೃಷಿ ಮಾಡುವ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಫರ್ಟಿಲೈಸರ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ.
Correct this question, okay? Let me correct this question. This is not about soil pollution. We are not talking about pollution. Do not mix up issues. This is about soil degradation, desertification. What this means is, soil is a living entity. It is the largest living entity on this planet, and in the known universe, it is the largest living entity. Trillions of life forms exist there. What do they eat? They need organic content to eat. Where is the organic content? There are only two sources, plant life and animal life. How much plant life and animal life are you seeing on the farms today across the world? There's hardly anything. Why? Because we shifted to alternative ways. We found this magic powder called fertilizer. I am not against use of fertilizer. You can continue to use, but the important thing is the soil should stay alive. Your business is to see the organisms are alive. We are not talking about soil pollution. We are talking about soil degradation slowly leading to desertification. Pollution is a problem, but not such a big problem. Soil degradation is threatening life process on this planet. When I say life process, it's not just the food that you eat. Your body right now is over 60% microorganisms. Only 40% of your body is parental genetics. So these organisms which are in your body are not unique. They are from the soil. The same organisms which are thriving in the soil are thriving within you. Now, on an average, according to many studies, on an average, 27,000 species of organisms are going extinct per year. So this is a slide. This slide, if it continues, it is estimated approximately in 25 to 40 years' time, these microorganisms will… the loss of microorganisms will… from a slide, it will graduate into a tumble. Once it tumbles, there is nothing you can do, nothing I can do, nothing this person can do because we are always busy. How to put spanner in the works of anything that works in this country, all right? Nobody can do anything. Once it goes into your tumble, you just have to wait and see how many will die and how many will survive. So this is foundational life. The foundational life for all life on this planet that walks and flies and thrives is in the soil. That foundational life is receding at an alarming pace. That's what we're talking about. We are not talking about soil pollution, that's a different issue. ಅರೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಮಾತ್ರ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಾ? ಇಲ್ಲ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜನ ಆ ಥರ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಇವತ್ತು ಮಾತ್ರ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಾ? ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಎಂಟು ತಿಂಗಳಿಂದ ಕೇಳ್ತಾನೆ ಇದ್ದೀರ ತಾನೆ? I didn't speak about it all this time. I'm telling you, as a part of Kaveri calling or Kaveri Kugu as it is called in Kannada, the numbers have been given to you. I'm not conversant with every number, but this year we've planted 1.3 crore saplings in farmers' lands. This is not afforestation. In one day you plant 1.3 crore saplings and forget about it. No, it is put there and it's monitored, it's being geocoded. Ask Kiran Kumar sir, it is being seen that it is growing and the green cover is improving. All these things are happening. Data is all there. If you don't read the data, what can I do? What is happening? We're sleeping? No. People, thousands of people are on the ground. Over 70 lakh farmers are right now, engaged with our social media platforms, giving advice. Over 6,000 postings have been made. Please read it up. Those of you who have these issues, please read it up and see. The guidance for the farmers is happening on the social media and our volunteers are on the ground continuously even through the COVID period. Many of them risked their lives and many of them fell seriously ill going to villages and all this. Thousands of farmers have been on the ground. Over 1,800 full-time volunteers are on the ground making this happen. If your only intention is you still have not died and not in the soil, if that is the only question you're asking, unfortunately I'm still alive and we're still working.
ಸರ್, ಈಗ ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ, ಈಗ ನೀವು ಅಭಿಯಾನ ಆರಂಭ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ, ಸರ್ಕಾರಗಳು ಕೈ ಜೋಡಿಸಿದೆ, MOUಗಳನ್ನ ಸೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ, ಅವರ ಅಪ್ಡೇಟ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ಏನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ? ಕೆಲಸ ಹೇಗ್ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ? ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ಒಂದು ಡೆಡ್ ಲೈನ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ಮಣ್ಣಿನ ಫಲವತ್ತತೆ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೂ ಟೈಮ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶದ ನಮ್ಮ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ವಿಚಾರವಾಗಿ ಹೇಳೋದಾದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ?
See, one thing you must understand, the magnitude of the problem. The magnitude of the problem is such, what have you done? Why have you not turned the soil around? Then you don't understand what the magnitude of the problem is. The problem is across the globe. I am saying 81 nations have started framing soil policies when they were not even willing to talk about soil 8 months ago in COP26. Is that a significant development? Yes. Will soil policies happen in 2 days and every soil will be fixed in the 3rd day? Is that your expectation? I am sorry, that's not the way it is. We have damaged this over 40 to 50 years of irresponsible agriculture. We are only talking about agricultural soil because that is vital for our survival. So, can a farmer do it by himself? No, because his economic strength is not there. If you ask him to do anything more than what he is doing, he will collapse. He is in the last, he is at the last brink. If you push the farmer to do one thing more than what he is doing, his life will collapse, his economy will collapse. So it has to be an incentive-based policy. I told you Karnataka government is giving 125 rupees per tree planted and we got the species released in the previous government. In this government further went on and released even sandalwood tree which was supposed to be only grown in Australia. Hello? Do you know this? We are importing sandalwood from Australia, but we cannot grow it. Fortunately now the government, we've been pushing for this, now the government has released this. The Karnataka state government has allocated 100 crores for soil-related activity in variety of ways. How will they invest that money? That is not my business, that is the finance department, you must ask them how they will do this. They will do that. The Indian government, the success, those of you who are having problems with Kaveri calling because you've never been to your village probably in your life. You travel around and meet the people and see what's happening. Looking at the success of Kaveri calling, 9 UN agencies are supporting us. Their observers have come, visited the sites and seen the success. 3 of the UN agencies are active partners with us. The Secretary of the Commonwealth Nations visited the farms and now she wants to make it happen in 54 nations across the world. All this is happening and you are asking these questions, what's happening, what's happening? I am telling you, this is happening, that on the ground it is happening, policy-wise it's happening. As I said, I have no doubt whether it will happen or not. Only question is speed. Why speed is important is, how quickly we do it is very important, especially if you're on the right track. If you move too slowly, you will get run over, all right? On an abandoned track, if you sleep, there is no problem. On an active railway track, if you sleep, you will go into pieces. So this is important, that we move at a certain pace and we solve this problem in this generation, because every responsible scientist on the planet, I don't know what they played here, you've seen FAO is with us, World Food Program with us, UNCCD with us, UNCCC with us. If these are not authorities to endorse, who else is? I don't know. Some social media platforms is what they read. Leave that nonsense. I'm saying every responsible agency, every responsible scientist is clearly saying this is the way forward. And we are doing that. Is it enough? It is not enough. That's why I'm talking to you. If what I am doing is enough, why will I waste my breath talking to you? What we are doing is still a drop in the ocean. If this drop has to splash big, we need all of you in a positive manner, please. No, I'm not saying… All right, I'm coming to that. Indian government, Government of India, central government has invested $2.4 billion, 19,000 crore budget for the first time they announced. For what? Based on the Kaveri calling module, exactly the same module, they made detailed project reports for 13 river basins. These 13 river basins account for 67% of the country's land. If they continue to invest like this, 19,000 crores this year they are investing to do Kaveri calling type of projects in 13 river basins. Because one organization can only set up a module. We cannot fix the whole world, all right? We can create awareness around the world. We can't fix the world. Governments have to act. So now, Government of India has invested 19,000 crores for 13 river basins. How effective will it happen? We're trying to monitor it and push it as much as possible. I'm saying it's very important all responsible citizens continuously talk about it so that governments understand. You must understand, in a democratic nation, this is the thing. Every 5 years governments could change. Even somebody is elected for 5-year period, you ask them to do something which may bear results in 15 or 20 years, it's a last priority. Yes or no? Unless people stand up and say, this is our priority, this is all we are trying to do. We want the people to stand up and say, it's our priority that you address the future well-being of this nation. It's our priority that you address the future of our children. If we don't do this now, governments will sleep on it. Even if you are in the government or I am in the government, we will try to do things in those 4 to 5 years, because after all you have to win the election. After all you have to win the election, because this is the nature of democracy. So, this whole movement is an expression from the citizens to say that we are with you if you take long-term policy decisions. We are not looking for daily tidbits. We are ready with you if you take long-term policy decisions. This is very, very vital for this country, especially with 1.4 billion people, which is over 17.4% of the world's population. But we have only 4% of the world's land. And now our national average of organic content is somewhere around 0.5 to 0.6%. Please understand, this is a disaster in waiting, quiet disaster.
Yeah, one
Please
last
take the
question,
microphone.
please. Namaskaram, Sadhguru. Wanted to check with you, March, when you started the 100-day motorcycle campaign, you went into so many countries. Want to know your experience. How was it received? Like, including China, Nepal, so many places you've gone. So just want to know some interesting, how was it received and how was the government and people's response there?
So this people's response has been spectacular. Never before another movement has managed to touch 3.91 billion people in 100 days' time. About me on the motorcycle for 100 days, instead of interviewing me, all of you should interview one of the hardcore riders in Bangalore, okay? Those who ride long distances, there are many youth doing that. Ask them, will any of them are foolish enough to stay on the motorcycle for 100 days? Please ask them. And if they are 65 years of age, ask them if they will do that. So why it is that I'm not trying to push myself as like I'm some kind of a superhuman being. I'm just trying to tell you, it is not a joke. Why I did this? Because I don't hold any official position. I am not a minister, I am not a secretary of this or that, nor do I own an industry or a business or anything to make a statement. I have been talking about this for 30 years, about soil, okay? For 30 years, wherever I have the opportunity, with ordinary people, with bureaucrats, with agriculture ministries, ministers, some heads of state, to everybody. Whenever I speak to people, they all say, this is fantastic, Sadhguru, this is very important. And then it looks like on that day, they use it as a pillow to go to sleep. Because in 30 years, nobody did anything. I have been trying to push governments and people to act, but everybody thinks, soil, yes, very important, and leave it. Even our own volunteers, over 17 million volunteers I have around the world, they also say, yes Sadhguru, but Sadhguru bless us. So I knew I had to do something. If I walk from London to Kaveri, I know I'll kill myself. If I cycle, that also looked like suicide to me. Then I decided a motorcycle. Motorcycle is 50-50 chance whether I will make it or not. Yes, people who don't know what is motorcycling, who are just using a 125cc motorcycle in the city, they may not understand this. If you go out into the open, into all sorts of terrain, into icy roads, into deserts, into all kinds of places, riding day and night, doing 691 events on the way. This is a semi-suicide. You're trying to kill yourself. Initially everybody thought this is a festival. Then when they actually saw the close-up videos of what is happening, then all these millions of people who've been sleeping woke up and started talking about it. A big buzz around the world happened. It's because of that it has reached that many people. It's because so many people were talking about it. Today 81 nations have started the mechanism of framing soil policies. If people did not speak, everybody would be quiet, because tomorrow's problem, everybody would like to leave it to tomorrow's people. But tomorrow's problem, if it is not dealt today, tomorrow will be a disaster.
So how significant is Bengaluru's role in your Save Soil?
I'm sorry?
How significant is Bengaluru's role in your Save Soil movement, and what do you expect from the
Bangalore what? I'm sorry.
Bengaluru's role in your Save Soil movement?
Bangalore's role, okay, I'm sorry. See, Bangalore is important because… see, I want you to understand this. This is the very first time. Many great beings have come in the past, but when they spoke, hardly 10 people could hear. This is the first time we can sit here and talk to the entire world. This is because of technology, all right? Bangalore is supposed to be a tech city. It's supposed to be the, replica of Silicon Valley in United States. We are doing a lot of work there also. If you are Silicon Valley, you must take the responsibility of reaching the world, because this is not my project, this is not your project, this is a generational responsibility. Will we fulfill this, or will we just waste our lives talking in vain about something or the other endlessly? Many of you have children, it is intrinsic for you that your children should live better than you, isn't it? It's not because of somebody's philosophy, morality or ethics that you want your children to live better. It is very intrinsic to you that you want your children to live better than you. And I'm telling you, I am not a doomsayer, I'm an extremely positive person. But I'm saying this to you, if we don't act on the soil policies, if we do not pressure the governments to act on soil policies very quickly, no matter how much money you have made, how much education you give your children, our children are not going to live well in this world. It's going to be very, very difficult. I want you to just imagine, 9.2 billion people, 40% less food on the planet. Just imagine, today in Bangalore city, if 40% of the people have not eaten for last 3 days, do you think you can do your journalism? Do you think I can do my spiritual process? Do you think anybody can do whatever they are doing in their lives? Chaos will happen. Actually, World Food Program is predicting by 2035, there will be dozens of civil wars across the world because of food and water shortages. How precariously our water situation is balanced means every hydrologist, every water and soil related scientists are telling you this, if there are 2 consecutive failures of monsoon, 2 years if monsoons fail, in this country there will be absolute civil unrest because many places will go without water if there are 2 consecutive monsoon failures. Is there any system that you have that you can make sure monsoons won't fail for 2 years? Do you have some solution? The only way to do this is to keep the soil rich. If the soil is rich, it can hold 8 times of all the water that is flowing in all the rivers on the planet. That much water soil can hold if it's organically rich. We have proved this. If you raise the organic content to 8 to 12%, then most crops can be grown without irrigation. Just with rain, it can be grown. Even very water-intensive crops can be grown with minimum amount of irrigation. We've brought down the irrigation levels to 30% of what it used to be within a matter of 5 years of regenerative farming. If you're using 100 liters of water to grow a crop, it can come down to 30 liters. This is an absolute must for India. You're only understanding water problem as an urban problem. Urban problem is not the real problem, that is also a problem. But the rural problem is where the people are, and there people will begin to die if there is no water. Here somebody may come and supply it in trucks and this and that, but in rural India, once water situation goes bad, there will be severe stress. Piling up of the population to urban centers will happen, already it is happening. You're seeing, those of you who lived in Bangalore for last 40-50 years, you're seeing how people are piling up into Bangalore. This is happening mainly because life in the village is becoming more and more unbearable. If you don't make it pleasant there, more people will pile up here.
Sadhguru, can we take one more question before you roll the ball?
Please, roll the ball. I'll kick the ball. Why? I'm still in a kicking mode.
Namaste Sadhguru. Tell us something about the Isha Foundation which is coming in Chikballapura.
Oh.
The new.
It's a little north of Chikballapur. We are building an abode of yoga. When we say yoga, you must understand, it's about well-being. Well-being from a simple well-being of being healthy to your ultimate well-being of being in a state of liberation or mukti. So, the uniqueness of this abode of yoga is that all aspects of yoga will be offered. When I say all aspects, there are only 4 fundamentals to this. See, as a human being, you have a body. You can use the body and liberate yourself. This is called as karma yoga, yoga of action. You can use your intelligence and liberate yourself. This is called as jnana yoga, yoga of intelligence. You can use your emotion and liberate yourself. This is called as bhakti yoga, yoga of emotion or devotion. And you can transform your inner energies and attain to liberation. That is called as kriya yoga. So, the abode of yoga is unique in the sense all aspects of yoga are offered. We are not teaching a type as a prescription. Depending on your need, accordingly it is done. This is the uniqueness of Isha Yoga. that it is offered according to the need of the individual person, not simply a philosophy that you believe in. So a time has come in the world, that too especially in the tech city. See, we have been addressing human well-being either through belief systems, philosophies, ideologies and all kinds of weird worships and rituals and stuff. A time has come to address that also in a scientific and technologically correct way. When I say scientific, first thing is it has to be logically correct. So this is not today in this culture. Over 15,000 years ago, Adi Yogi, who offered these technologies, 112 ways in which a human being can attain to their highest or explore their full potential was offered. Never before till today has human populations been really ready to address their well-being as technologically or as a scientific process, because human intellect was never this active as it is today. Today that large number of people have received education, their intellect has become little more active than what it used to be in previous generations. More people have started thinking logically. Now this is the time, because right now just selling a ticket to heaven, you do this, we will take you to heaven business is not going to work with future generations. You ask the future generations in Bangalore city, young people in Bangalore city, do you want to go to heaven? They will ask, is there free Wi-Fi or not? Hello? Yes. So, when this has come, it's very important that we address our well-being also in a way that it is scientifically correct. So, the yoga is that aspect of life. Yoga does not mean just twisting and turning. There is a yoga for every aspect. 112 types of yogas. This is not like you have to do this or that, a combination of those things are needed for a human being to evolve. So, this abode of yoga, we have already established a Naga shrine last month, and in the month of October, on 15th of January, we are unveiling the Adiyogi statue, which is 112 feet tall, and you must come and see on 15th. I welcome all of you. The Vice President of India will be there to unveil this. Please be there and make use of this situation. Thank you very much.